conscious awareness. Broken down, consciousness and awareness. Two hot topics at the moment and two hot trendy words, just like following the moon cycles and using crystals and journaling to become more conscious. Does this actually make us more conscious? Do we ever become conscious, and do we ever become enlightened? Okay, so I'm noticing that as the collective energy is raising its vibration and we're getting people waking up all over the show, there's still the ego attached to the levels of consciousness that we have the awareness of. What do I mean by that? Well, so many people will say to me, I'm on this journey of consciousness, but my partner is not. My partner doesn't get it, or my partner doesn't believe it. So therefore, what happens when I become more conscious than my partner? Okay, kind of a valid question. But when my clients say that to me, my response is, how do you know that you are more conscious than your partner? Right? So consciousness is an interesting thing. And when we look into the conscious levels, we kind of always think, oh, there's the different levels as we go up the step ladder. The more healing we do, the more journaling we do, the more crystals we buy, the more smudging that we do, the more programs that we buy, the more conscious we become. Interesting. Is it true though? Is it true? What if there was no levels of consciousness? What if it was different dimensions? What if we were a multi-dimensional being and planet, and we were able to skip and hop and jump into different dimensions? And what if your partner, who is not on the conscious awareness bandwagon, what if they were already there and you were catching up to them? This is what I want to tell you right now. When we are talking about conscious awareness, if there's any full stops, if there's any solidness, if there's any definition, then double check in that you're not actually functioning from ego rather than consciousness. So today I want to share with you the 3 things that are not conscious when it comes to this, and the 3 things that are. So if you are on this kind of spiritual journey, I'm not surprised if you're still listening to this, then obviously you are. And the thing is, of course, we are waking up as a planet, as beings, as we have more access now to the galactic and to our lineage, really, which is on different planets and all the things. But we have to understand that we are still these conditioned and programmed beings. So is there a point that we get to where we are actually fully conscious? I don't actually think so, which is my interesting point of view, of course. Now, of course, there is probably a handful of people in the world that are extremely conscious and probably not scrolling on their cell phones. They're probably even not meditating all day, every day. They're probably not sitting there journaling or playing with crystals. But I dare say they are in stillness. Stillness. They allow themselves to surrender to the stillness, to the presence, to the quietness, and they have a deep humbleness. This is the 3 things that is connected to conscious awareness. Stillness. Stillness is so you can hear. You can hear. You can hear the stillness. Eckhart Tolle has got a book called Stillness Speaks. Brilliant book. I have it on audio. And if you've ever listened to Eckhart Tolle or read his books, you will notice there's many pauses. He speaks very slowly. He's very, very present. He is reading the vibrations of the words that he wants to speak, and he's still enough to receive them. When you are seeking consciousness, it is those spaces, Joe Dispenza as well, the space between the space. It's those spaces. It is the stillness. It is the presence that creates more conscious awareness for you in those moments. But many of us, we are in the not self, the not conscious awareness, which is, I want to be more, I want to outsmart I want to have the knowledge. I want to be the conscious one. I want to be this. I want to be that. Yes. And although it is not wrong to have desires and dreams, in fact, this is what I do for a job, is I help people to align to those desires and those dreams. But when we are wanting the more and the more and the more and the more and the more, it's kind of like eating the whole block of chocolate instead of just enjoying the one piece, right? You get chunked out. You literally feel sick. If you've eaten a whole block of chocolate and you've been wanting the more and the more and more, you're indulgent, okay? Many empaths are indulgent. So if this is you, you're not alone, right? I want more. I want more. I want more information. I want to become more conscious. And all while this is happening, we've got the monkey mind going on. We've got the, I'm not good enough going on. For me to be enlightened, for me to be conscious, I have to know more, because we are in this fast-paced world. And if I'm not ahead of the game, then I'm not in the game. And therefore, that is ego. And we feel this within because we feel the fight. We feel the trigger. We go into our not self theme of frustration or bitterness or anger or not good enough. And then what happens is that it's actually counterproductive when it comes to being conscious and being consciously aware of what is coming through for you. So you can kind of see those differences, right? Where the person who hasn't been trying, say the partner, for example, he or she hasn't been trying, they're not into their crystals, they're not into the psychic mediumship, they're not into the development stuff, they're just like living a normal human life, but they can be in the stillness when they're in nature. Maybe they're not in the monkey mind. Maybe they're just like, I'm satisfied, right? I've surrendered to my life and I allow things to come to me as they will. I'm not in my head always trying to be an achiever. What if that was a higher level of consciousness, a different level of consciousness? We're multi-dimensional beings, and we've somehow put these distinctions on what consciousness is, right? So this is why I wanted to share this with you today. It is not outsmarting everybody else. That is ego, because there's actually no level. There's no level, right? It's multi-dimensional, parallel timelines and parallel lives, right? That are simultaneously happening at the same time. So it's multi-dimensional. So therefore your partner who's in the stillness, who's surrendered to life, who is humble, and you're trying to get there, you're trying to get to all the things that you want to get, and you want them to hurry up and get to the things that they want to get to, but they're already there. You could be in a different lifetime where the roles are switched. And this is why we can't make anything too solid or too dense. Okay. So another thing that's not going to make you more conscious, and when it comes to conscious awareness, is going to every single healer, for healings. There's this kind of energy of when people go to healers all the time. I need to go to a healer. I need to go to a healer. I need to go to a healing. Just like I need to go to the physio. I need to go to the physio. I need to go to the physio, or the osteo, or the doctor, whatever type of healer it is. Sometimes there's an underlying energy of, I need to get better. I have to be fixed. There's something wrong with me. There's something broken. And now my darling husband, he actually brought this to my attention when I was going to my osteo all the time. And I was like, if I don't go to my osteo once a month, my body goes out of whack and I'm in pain. So it shall be. See how I created that as solid? Because I had made it a solid thing, that is what happened. So I started changing from having a really kind of strong statement to, how can I have so much more ease with my body and surrender by listening and being present? Okay. Again, it's coming back to the stillness, to hear what the body requires, rather than going, someone fix me, someone fix me, someone fix me. right? We see this with coaches too. We see this in so many different ways. I need to do another modality before I can actually charge money because I'm not good enough. I need more experience. Ego, 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 ego. And then we get frustrated with people around us that are not doing the work, but they are, because they're still enough to hear what they require, where sometimes we are on this kind of hamster wheel trying to get somewhere and finding that really we're just kind of counterproductive and creating more of this. We're creating it because we want to get to a destination rather than acknowledging that the destination is in the presence. And to be conscious, we must be still enough to hear. Consciousness does not happen in the movement and in the mind, the busyness. It happens in those moments, like I said, Joe Dispenza, the space between the space. Eckhart Tolle, stillness speaks. And when you hear him speaking, he's he has these big pauses. And when I'm in the monkey mind trying to get somewhere, because of course we all do this, right? We all do this because no one is fully conscious. There might be a handful of people in the world, I don't know. And when I'm in the monkey mind, I'm listening to Eckhart Tolle, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just too slow. I just can't. I need someone fast. I need someone like, let's get some action. And that is when I know I must stop, slow down, and be. So consciousness is not about receiving every type of healing from every type of healer and every type of thing. Now, you can be curious. Some people are in human design, have a 1 in their chart, and they are investigators. They're really curious about everything. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But when we are doing it from a charge, I need to know more so I can get to the destination that is ego-based. When it's like I'm reading these books and I'm doing this work and I'm learning about this and I've got this coach and I'm going to healers because I'm curious about it and it's coming from a space of expansiveness, like, oh, it feels so good. No judgment, no trigger, just I want to because I want to, right? That there is a beautiful thing. But when we're doing it from a triggered space of I'm not going to be good enough until that there is ego-based and not conscious awareness. It is ego-driven, you might say. So that surrendering is super important when it comes to what conscious awareness is. So as well as the stillness, it is the surrender. I surrender to myself, to my body, to the world, to the universe, as I let God in to show me what is my next move, as I allow myself to receive the codes, the awareness, in the stillness rather than trying to find it with my head. Now, of course, people listening to this may be getting triggered at this time when I speak of this, because we are programmed and conditioned. And many people will say to me, hey, Vic, I don't know how to meditate. Like, it's like, does my head in 2 minutes? And I'm like, and that is because of the conditioned mind. So you're not alone, right? You're not alone. It's really important to surrender even to the mind, to say, okay, I've got this monkey mind going on. I can't stop thinking. What are the tools and the processes to bring myself back to the stillness? Okay. And it's not by indulging massively and trying to fix something that doesn't require to be fixed. We don't need to add more. We actually need to add less. And what I love to say as well, I think I got this from Eckhart Tolle, is consciousness is about knowing nothing. The more conscious you become, the less you know, the less you think. So to be conscious is to be still enough to hear. It's being in a space to be able to surrender and not fight the mind, not fight the meditation, not fight what is actually coming, because we've been fighting for so long because of survival. We've been trying to survive by using our clever little brains. We are highly intelligent animals and beings, and we're not going to take that from ourselves. But now, as we're shifting into a different way of living. This is why people are more aware of conscious awareness, because people are waking up, but they're still holding on to the mind. They're still holding on to the survival. We're going through this transition right now, and conscious awareness is still kind of, it's coming up for us to find out what is this as we're experimenting with that. And this is where the surrender part comes in. I surrendered to my own conscious awareness and where I'm at in that, knowing that wherever I'm at is perfect for me, and there is no levels to compare with others. Because as soon as we go into comparing, it is literally ego driven, right? So yeah, if you feel like you're like chasing the healers or needing more, I see this with people doing this with the latest trends, right? So, and that's why I say like consciousness and awareness, those words are like trending right now, just like the moon and just like the gratitude journals, just like the drink bottles with the crystals. All those things are beautiful. And the high frequency oils and the singing bowls, all the stuff that I have as well. And they're tools and they can be used. But it's not about how much of those we have that creates our consciousness. Because like I say, your partner and your children and your friends and your parents, people that may not even be into that stuff, may even be at a higher, a higher capacity to receive more of the surrender and the stillness. Therefore, they could have more moments of consciousness. So again, not putting kind of a lid on it, not putting it into any solid form, but just so you can understand what I'm saying, and just notice what's coming in to you when I'm saying this. Some people might be even closing their eyes going, whoa, this is a lot of information. How do I feel? And it may be working on your subconscious to shift it, to shift your perspective just a little bit, right? The next thing as well is when it comes to being in your conscious awareness is humbleness, right? So we've got the stillness and the surrendering, so you can actually receive, because you can't receive when you're all like uptight. So it's surrendering to, what can I receive here? And what am I willing to receive? And the humbleness is actually about action. So at first I was kind of tapping into the energy of confidence, and then there was just too many attachments to the word consciousness. But humbleness, again, we have seen humbleness as somebody who is humble, somebody who doesn't want to be the star of the show. Humbleness is like they're humble people. Maybe they don't have much. Maybe that's how you've kind of tied humbleness in with a bit of scarcity. But the energy of humbleness is satisfaction. They're humble and they're satisfied for what they have, right? And this humbleness is literally about embodying the confidence and humbleness to go out there and to get what it is that you are truly wanting, desiring, and dreaming of. And if you desire a lot of money, a lot of spiritual alignment, or a new career, if you are desiring to shift the world and change the world, that is not ego. Ego is when you're comparing to others. Ego is when you are going, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. And ego is when you're like, I am better than the other people that are not as spiritually aligned as me, right? That is ego. But humbleness comes with I am here to help these people, or I'm here to create, or I'm here to share. I'm here, and the resources that I have, the money that comes in automatically, because it's energy, and the people that I attract, the story and the message that I have, it is light, it is expansive, it is powerful. Humbleness is powerful. Humbleness is confidence. And when you compare that up with the surrendering and the stillness, this is how I perceive conscious awareness. It is not about outsmarting anybody. It is not about having to have so much healing, but you still feel broken, right? We don't really even need healers because we are our own healer. And in fact, when we're going to healers, it is to bring in the stillness, to surrender, to receive the healing that we actually perform ourselves. The other person is just merely a facilitator. We don't ever heal anybody else, but we always heal ourselves. And last but not least, the other thing about conscious awareness, which is a little bit of a mistaken belief, is finding your soul's purpose. Those that come to me, and I've had summits on finding your soul's purpose. My program's all about finding your soul's purpose, but of course, that is simply the copy to bring in the people that think that they have to find their soul's purpose. And then what I do is I share with them that they are your soul's purpose. Your soul's purpose is not external from you. It is impossible for your soul's purpose to be external for you. Instead of going outward, we must come inward. And how do we do that? We do that with the surrendering and the stillness, and then the humbleness, which is actually having and willing to go deeper into our power and our confidence to show up and actually share with the world what our genius is in the world. And so this is what I do, is I share with people, if it's in business, well, what is your genius? So it's all about the words that I use, because they've got that vibration which attract the people that are requiring that, soul to soul. What is your genius, and what is your superpower, and what is your gift to the world, and what is your strengths, and what do you love to do? Okay, conscious awareness is about taking those golden nuggets that come through your intuition when you are in the stillness and surrendering, and then using your humbleness to share with the world who you are. Because it's you that is your soul's purpose, right? And when you're functioning from conscious awareness, it doesn't mean you're fully conscious. It doesn't mean you're fully in awareness, but it means you are willing. You are willing to tap into the vibrations and the frequencies of the conscious awareness that is coming your way. It means that when you feel your ego coming in and the comparing coming in, or the little voice saying you're not good enough, or the little voice saying, oh, you're better than them because you have done A, B, C, D, E, H. This is not a resume. We do, the universe, God, source energy, your higher self, they don't want your resume. That you're not going to die and go, hey, here's my resume. And this is what a lot of spiritual people think. They think literally, oh, I ticked off all of that. I was a good person. Karma, done. Next time I'm going to do this. So you're saying that you're better than that person who didn't do fuck all in this life, right? No, there's ego, because you don't know if that person, what they've really done. And what I love to teach about in my programs and help people to align to deeper is their blueprint, is their human, is to actually listen to what the body is saying. So when my husband and my sister had said the same thing to me, she said, learn how to manage your own body. Every time I'm wanting to go to the osteo, and don't get me wrong, my osteo was next level amazing and I loved her and all the things. But when you have a sore back, when you are feeling a little bit stressed, when you feel your neck starting to go because you've been sitting in front of a screen too much, or because you've been a little bit stressed out or haven't been sleeping properly, whatever the thing is, listen to the body and do the body work. What do I require to surrender to this beautiful tool and listen to my body? What is required? And quite often, if you've gone too far and you weren't in your conscious awareness and you weren't actually listening to yourself and you overdid it, or this happens, of course, this happens because we're not perfect and we're not always conscious, then you may need to get some extra help. But when you're relying on another person to heal you, this is simply not conscious awareness. It is codependency. Okay. So what do I require? And would this be a contribution to me? Okay. So I personally have a coach. I quite often have a coach that, I work with. I work with because, and I have a lot of clients myself that I coach, but it's not to fix. It is to create more. Okay, so maybe we can add that into the healing part as well. I'm feeling great at the moment. It'd be such a contribution to receive Reiki or bars or cranio or Bowen or whatever modality you're drawn to. That would be so beautiful for my body. What if you got that as a conscious awareness? Oh, it'd be lovely to go and have a osteo session or a physio session or a checkup at the doctor just to go and get my bloods done. Oh, that's a conscious awareness. But too many of us are programmed to wait until we're broken, wait until we've gone, to the excess, like my sister, who's a projector. And she said to me, you should check into your body. Don't let yourself get to the point where your neck is out, your back is out, and you're like, help, I'm broken. Don't do it, right? Why are you being codependent on someone else fixing you when you know why that happened? That is a surrendering. I surrender to know that I am powerful within. I am my own healer, and I can actually be still enough to listen if I create that, if I choose that. This is manifestation as well. Conscious awareness is not about outsmarting other people or being a high achiever and being at the top. I see this online on socials all the time. People are like, well, let me tell you the answer. Let me tell you the answer. I'm just like, okay. There's like a hierarchy system. That is not consciousness at all. That is like an illusion of consciousness. You can't outsmart consciousness because consciousness is in the stillness. It's not of the brain. It's of the heart coherence. Okay. And it's not healing after healing after healing after healing after healing because you're not broken. You're already perfect. You just need to start listening to what you require. And this is why I love human design as well, because you can actually get into what is my energy type? What is my not self theme? What is my strategy? How do I listen to my intuition with my authority, right? And this has been a brilliant resource for me, but it's not my all and everything, because if we hold on to anything, we make it too solid, then we're missing the conscious awareness and the stillness that we can receive our own deep, deep wisdom, right? And it's not about finding a soul's purpose, because nothing is external from you. It is all within you. And it's in those moments that you're sitting there and you're like, it's too quiet right now, and I'm feeling frustrated and I don't want to be with myself. It's those times that you're actually doing the real work. I know for me, it's walking on the beach. It's being essentially in the energy of boredom, where right now in this moment, it's just quietness. There's nowhere to be. There's nothing to do. And rather than being busy and being in fear of getting bored, what if I just sat here and looked out the window? People are afraid to do that because they feel like they're wasting time. But that is where consciousness comes in. That is where you upgrade. That is where you allow the space for the drop-ins to come in. Okay, so what is consciousness? It's stillness, it's surrendering, and it is humbleness. And humbleness is not being broke and just having enough to live. Humbleness is being bold and being confident and being in your power. Humbleness is about loving so much yourself and the world around you that if others judge you, you can sit in the humbleness to say, I love you. And I'm not going to judge you judging me because I understand that we are all conditioned, and no one, apart from the little handful of people, are conscious, right? We are here to unwind and decondition and use the tools of consciousness to become more conscious. But there is no hierarchy. There is no level. You're not going to die and go to heaven and go, well, okay, conscious rooms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you didn't do very good. You're over there. You're there. Like, this is a system that we were taught with, like purgatory and hell and heaven. Like, it's kind of like a rating thing, right? There's different dimensions, but we have to remember we all have choice, and we can't even compare consciousness. It's just something that we can't even compare. So when we use the word levels, I want you just to take it lightly and never make anything solid. If you are wanting to have a conscious up level, it doesn't mean that you're leveling above people. It just means that you're opening yourself up more. It's more of an expanding. It's expanding the consciousness in different dimensions and different forms and different shapes and different spaces without making it solid. Okay, so it's great to look how far you've come. And it's great to go, well done. This is so amazing. You've been doing some great work. You know, what else is possible? And how can we create even more? That there's humbleness. And how can we share this with the world? It's beautiful. I'm so grateful for the now. And I'm so grateful for what is coming, and how much fun can we have with that? And how can I surrender and listen and not control it, but merely allow it and be willing to expand it and know and trust and have faith that all will come to me by simply being. I am my purpose. I surrender to the stillness so I can hear my own conscious awareness, and my conscious awareness will be different to anybody else's because I am an individual expressing my individuality, therefore creating a ripple effect of change around the world so others can do exactly the same. Now, when we sit in that energy, it's not ego, it's humbleness. So I hope that you have enjoyed this chat about conscious awareness, this channel, if you will, this transmission from my higher self to yours. Every time I do have a conversation like this, it is definitely not just for the now or for the day, although we are in the Lion's Gate portal at the moment. So it's a very beautiful, beautiful day and a beautiful energy. And I started this at 1:11 a.m. in the morning. This is still multidimensional. So you may listen to this in years to come and it's still relevant, or you may even listen to this 3 or 4 or 5 times and hear something completely different. So feel free to put in your earbuds, put on your eye mask, go to sleep to it, and know that this is working in the subconscious, talking to your being and your soul, as well as your human who is consciously aware of what I'm saying here. So much love, and I will see you soon.